Hey guys, welcome back to the Blue Tiger Poker 10K challenge. So it's Friday night, about 8:30. Starting up on Bravada again and playing just $1 tables pretty much. I do have a hand down here in the bottom table that we'll get to in just a little bit, but let's get a couple of these hands out of the way. Playing right now, so the first dead spot we get, we'll pull in that first hand while I was getting all the recording software up and going. So here we are, we got the button, we are just going to flat, and I don't see a reason to raise right now, and kind of see what everybody's going to do. This player 3 has been playing almost every hand, and then player 5 somewhat selective. So here I don't think we're going to move anybody off their hands. I mean, with this guy being short stack, he's already bet pot. Could be his thing. We're going to wait and see if his pot bet really means he's full of it or not. So he's bet pot twice. I guess we're going to see the hand right here. Wouldn't know why he would bet pot and then pot again just to fold here for his last 21. Poor poker if he does fold. I don't see a hand why he would choose unless he's that aggressive, think he's going to move people off his hand by betting pot. So unfortunately now he's setting very short, so when he does shove, you know, we're going to be calling him off when he's betting these pot instances here in the future. And it looks like player 5 is trying to just isolate around to him and be weaker, so he's trying to move everybody off. So we're going to look to make some plays. So if we'd been here a while in that last hand, I would have probably raised it pre-flop and take down the smaller pot, and then if they call, which is not a bad thing with our hand, it still plays very well when we have position on them. So the hand that we played earlier, the guy, player 4 right here, and then we were over here, so we raised it, and then basically we were, you know, on the button, and then he called the raise, and you're going to see the hand there. He had queen 9, but the flop was king 2-8, 2 diamonds and a heart, and so we continuation bet. Another diamond comes, and then we basically checked to him, and he didn't even bet on the diamond. Then on the river, he pretty much bet pot. So we took a while. We're like, okay, what's the likelihood that he would want to bet pot here on the river with either a very weak diamond or, you know, he's got total air? Because if he actually had a very strong hand at that point, he wouldn't have bet pot. You know, maybe he would have if he's really bad off. And see here again, he's just a crazy aggressive. But the problem is now he's short stacked, whereas before he had like 60-70 bucks, and this time, you know, are we wanting to stack off 4s against him? So basically any 2 cards he's got, we're pretty much only going to be a 50% running it off against him. And here we're definitely going to open up our ace queen. But then back to that hand, so we ended up just thinking about it for just, I think it was maybe like 10 seconds or so, and it was pretty obvious. So we just, you know, it's either, it was more leaning that he had total air in the hand, or, you know, if he had a diamond, it might have been a 7 or 8, and anything lower we had beat with a diamond. So we ended up making that call, and we were right. He had pretty much total air, didn't even have a pair, I believe. Actually, yeah, he made a pair of 9s on the turn, and then there were 4 diamonds on the board. So that's how that hand played out. But the reason we made the call is just, you know, his bet there at the end just made no sense. Why all of a sudden are you getting so aggressive in this hand? So here we made it 3, and then we have player 2 called, and then player 6 also, and we're definitely with our suited down here going to call. And then this guy shoves for 1250. I guess we're going to let it go in case player 2, and then player 4 there, you know, he's only got 8 left, so if they're going to call, and then again, I don't understand these people and their bet sizing right now. So we're going to sit back and kind of maybe watch a hand get played down the showdown in these hands, and then we can make a better decision, because their betting right now is not making sense. This player here, player 4, same guy who made the bluff against us, I don't see a reason why, you know, if it was just him in the hand and player 3 wasn't there, we would have definitely called that flop. And then with our king of hearts here, we're going to continue on with this hand. And then anything player 4 does, player 3 does, we're still going to pound it pretty hard. And probably call his all in, because we would still have 2 overs even if he has the 10 or something. So then we're just basically going all in here on the last one. So we fired 2 that didn't really improve him any. So if he's getting gutsy with an ace queen, he's got to call it here on the very end. But, you know, our re-raise pre-flop's got to mean something to him. And then here on the end, you know, he might call off with a 10, and he might have jack 10 or something like that. But I don't think he made the straight at all. He would already have his money in there. So he called with a 4-7. So it just shows how bad that hand was played out by him. And again, it makes no sense. You know, there's 3 hearts on the board, and you're calling off with a 4-7 of diamonds, thinking your 7's good. I mean, yeah, it was, but how often, you know, he's drawing so bad in that hand that his calling makes no sense at all. So we're definitely reloading on that table, and we're definitely going to be playing lots of pots with him, because it makes no sense for him to play the hand the way he did. It's an easy give up. I mean, if he would have re-raised this at any point in the hand, then yes, it's great how he played it. But calling 3 streets with a 4-7 is not a good play at all. So, especially when we shove that last one in, and the other guy's saying full of it, which is fine. I hope they continue to play that bad, because all that's going to do is every time we end up making money in that situation. And we're most definitely going to be posting out a position. Usually we do not do that, but with these guys as loose and crazy as they are, we are definitely going to be playing anything out of position, getting in pots the best we can, because it's just going to be a moneymaker. I mean, again, if you look at that board, it was just terrible on his part. I mean, yeah, he won the hand, and he thinks he made the best play, but in reality, he did not. Because the other thing, yes, we had the hard draw, and then we had 2 overs. So, I mean, and we're putting pot-sized bets. You know, the first one we half pot, the second one we bet pretty well pot. I mean, and I guess he doesn't even realize that, oh, you might have pocket 6, 7, 8s, 9s, 10s, jacks. You know, those are hands you're going to re-raise me with. And, you know, the whole time he's like, oh, you got ace king and you whiffed. And that's not the case. But if that is the case, and that's the hand he thought of in the hand, then, you know, what he did was very poor. I mean, you can't just get there and think, oh, I'm going to get more money. Your hand's so vulnerable in that situation where, okay, what happens when we hit our, like, you know, a jack comes out? Are you going to fold to us then, you know? So he's calling just to call down, and so it's going to be very interesting, and we're just going to be loving when we stack him and take his chips here in just a little bit. And hopefully you guys get to see that. So we do know bet value against that guy. And same situation as last time. You know, we had the suited connectors on the button, and then, you know, this guy over here has been showing that he calls a lot, and definitely a pot that we're just going to continue to fire on, and probably even go 2 streets here, because we got the backdoor straight draw and we got the backdoor flush draw. So now we got the backdoor straight draw, And we're going to just continue to put some pressure on him. And see what happens. So we got 4, 5, 6, 7. So here it's going to be interesting to see if he actually calls off. He could have been on a draw himself. So we'll be interested to see what he has. But not too many hands, just like over here. Not too many hands you should be calling with all the way down like that. I mean, this guy just tried to be a hero, and it's kind of like the last video we talked about, is sometimes you get those people who just try to make a hero call, and they look, oh, look what I did to you, but, you know, it doesn't work out for him enough. But again, you know, this guy we want to value down too, because if he's going to be calling down on that type of board, what are you calling with that actually hits? So apparently he thinks, so right here again, we know we're actually going to bet on the larger side, and it's because we knew he's been calling off. But that time he did not. So the Say It Ain't So contest is still going on pretty strong, and as you guys might see from this video, it's been pretty good on that. I think since the last video is right at $50, and so we're definitely going to be closing on that 100 mark pretty fastly in the next few videos, I'm sure of. So again, same principle like we're talking about over here. If the guy had a 7-8 type of hand, and you don't actually want to call down with those, you want to put pressure and pick up the pot, because you know half the deck is going to hurt us. I mean, and I guess if 28 shoves here, we definitely call. I mean, even though he might have a pocket pair in the hole that's overs, we would still call him off just because, you know, what's left behind us at that time. So we're kind of hoping to start catching a few hands over here, and then that player 3 does not want to leave. And as you see, he's already give up a big portion of what he won back, and you know, he might win this pot right here, and then he's back up there. He's going to be somebody who fluctuates back and forth in his stack sizing, and it's just because of, you know, you just can't continue to play that type of style of poker and expect to win. And he is a total calling station. So right here, we haven't played many hands. We open, and then this player 1 had called, which he has been. And then player 2 has 3-bet us. I don't recall player 2 having played too many hands, so right now we will give him respect. And we're actually going to do the same play as he just did up here on this table. So we're actually going to end up trying to squeeze play this. We'll definitely call off 27 guy, but same difference between those two. And our table image up here is probably right now, is we've played like, I don't know, half the hands probably. So we probably look like a loose guy. And then, you know, down here we hadn't really played anything. And then over here we haven't really played but that one ace-king type of hand. So, you know, these two tables I think we can make some moves on. But this one now, I think we're going to start getting called off a little bit lighter. So we just got to adjust to those things when it comes about. Here, the guy's short, so we'll just kind of take a flop and see. So we do got a playable hand up here. We definitely want to try to get position. So we did that, and then player 3 actually got out of the way this time. And then player 4 is very loose, and because of that, we're going to make a call. and a continuation bet and see if we can just pick it up, because the hands he's actually, if he's playing many hands, even though that board usually connects with people who call just because of his. And again, same difference here. We're actually going to go 3-betting these guys down here a little bit larger because we're going to be out of position. If player 6 decides he's shoving, we will unfortunately call that, because we only have to put in another, 22 to call that off. So would be unfortunate there, but we'll definitely make that play. So a real good flop up here at the top, and then also a good flop down here to where we can probably just bet about half the pot. So we actually hit a good card. And again, this is our guy to where we can just pretty much value town the far out of him. I mean, if he ended up having the ace, he's got the ace. I mean, he could have the full house, but I think we just got to play the hand straight up the way we have it at that time. Again, you know, it's pretty standard pocket sixes you're going to open. And then over here is, sometimes we usually would, but we want to actually play this guy in a pot. And I think we can get our money in there either way. And then this guy actually came in, so we definitely just want to call this time around. So now I bought a little flop to take a stab out here, see if we can pick it up. And if player 3 wants to make a hero call again, it's good because we do have overs. The ace is a very good card for us. You know, he might try to make a play here. But again, it's a good card for us to take a stab at when the ace comes out. And if he bets and raises here, that just means he had it. But more times than none, we're going to pick it up right there. And on this board up here, it's very connected in many ways. And so I think us placing a bet would just get the situation kind of sticky. And, you know, this guy doesn't seem like he goes away, player 2. So he could have like a weak 10, or he could have actually the straight or anything like that. So there'd be a lot of cards that would come that would just make it very hard for us to pick up the pot. And then, you know, this guy probably wasn't going to fold his Jack 4 either at that time. So, you know, if we were able to keep notes on people, and if you're playing like on a Poker Star site or something like that, then you would put that this guy called out of position from the blinds with a Jack 4 of clubs. So, you know, he pretty much is going to play any 2 suited cards that he has. And, you know, so right there when he makes that bet, it's an automatic re-raise. There's no reason for him to be limping. And if he does something weird here, you know, if he raises, that means he pretty much had aces or kings and he was just trying to like play the pot because he thinks if he raised, he would not get them. But most of the time, they're just limping because they don't know what to do with their hand, and it's just 50 cents more for them to put it in. So you can raise that 100% of the time with any 2 cards, and you're going to pick that pot up probably around 80% of the time when they're, you know, poor players. So there is our guy. Didn't really see it. I mean, it looks like, you know, he got a little bit of a cooler, but he's just going to give it away. Because when he gets stronger hands like that, he's just going to think he's looking down and saying, oh, how did this hand play out? Where if we went back and probably looked at the betting patterns in that hand, it was just 100% saying, hey, I got a set, and on that. So yeah, it opened up at 4, and then he calls. who had the small blind had it. So then he bets. Hang on, my mouse is being a little crazy. So for you guys who have the battery wireless mouse, it's great, but you better have your backup down here, because there's been many times where my mouse batteries die in the middle of a hand and I'm over in the cabinet. So now I've got a wired mouse and the wireless mouse both running at the same time. So back to the hand, it totally played out like saying, you know, hey, I got a set, or, you know, I flopped the nuts pretty much. So, you know, he made it $3, and then he called, and then he checked, and then the other guy bet 9. He called, and then on the flop, the small blind let out for 27, or he'll check raise, you know, there. So it's usually signs that, hey, I have a very powerful hand. You know, first of all, he doesn't want to run anybody off. So that's how the hand usually plays out at that time. And of course, the other guy just did not make anything better than to take it away. So got ace king again. We're definitely gonna maybe be in the same situation. Actually, we got a new guy, so there's our call and call. So really good flop for us to continuation on again. Again, don't see many hands that they're gonna be able to continue with. So, you know, he might have the 8, he may not. And after losing that last hand, he's probably trying to make a hero call again. Or he had like the overs, like a king jack type hand or queen jack, and he's just calling to hope to hit. So you're pretty much going to play your ace king hands just like they were kings or aces against this type of guy. Like last time, you know, he just made the call with his 4-7, but which is funny. That's the hand we have now. We should actually play it just to see if revenge is sweet there, but you know, you just can't start spewing money off for no reason at all. So definitely be in the muck here. So, you know, from that first hit, looks like we are back to even. We've pretty much accumulated all our money back from the being down the one buy-in right off the bat. But, again, it would still be justice just to play player 3 over here and take his money. But, again, whoever we can get our money from, it's all good. We don't... I'm not prejudiced to who wants to give me money, so... If they're number 3 or number 6, it's all fine with me. And so up here, we look at our spot. We've been playing loose, and player 2 has been calling a lot. So the goal here is maybe raise and get him to call, and he did not. But the thing is, we pretty much bought the button with that raise 2. So if player 4 and player 6 will probably make this call, it gives us a chance to make some plays to win this pot later on in the hand. So, and that's a real good board for us. So either he's got a queen, or he will probably give up in this hand right here. Be interesting to see. So the jack comes off. It's we're just going to go to showdown now, and it's probably unfortunate because he probably has like a 10 or something like that. So he actually has pocket 9s. So, you know, he cannot believe us on that with his pocket 9s. I would have made the same call in his position. Thing is, if we continued, he might have given it up with the pocket 9s and the jack and the 10. But that would have required us to throw 3 bets out there. But flop was pretty good for us. You know, unless he had the hand like pocket 9s is better than 7, 10s or something like that. Don't really think he would have had jacks or queens or kings or aces, because he would have raised in his position, and we could rule those hands out very quickly. All right, guys. Well, we're going to call it quits on this episode of the 10K challenge. So until next time, guys, good luck at the tables.